computer. Okay, we're recording. Hey, everybody. Once again, the group, tonight we're missing one. Ron, his daughter, is a volleyball player, a freshman in college, and she has a game tonight. He found out kind of late and got late notice, so we are going to try to switch things up a little bit. We've got some plans as to how we can move forward and still include Dace into tonight's game. And having said that, beside me is Dace O'Brien. He'll be playing, well, we'll just surprise you and let you see. He won't be playing Killian tonight because we're not doing that part of it. We're gonna go ahead and focus on Alex trying to swim with killer walruses, and Dayhon having a flashback where we're going to do that story arc and see where it leads. With that, you got Daniel McGuffey down here in the corner. He'll be playing Dayhon Minkado. And then below me is Alex Porter. She will be playing Oma. If you guys recall the last episode, Danny got fist to fist with with one of these old, and how did we decide we were going to pronounce that, Danny? They are spelled the
Beotodous.
Beotodous, because it sounds like Leonidas. Mm-hmm. So he was tearing it up with the Beotodous, and he tried to choke one out and realized that he couldn't get his arms around its neck. So he swung off the chin. He grappled the hair on underneath this thing's chin, came back and tried to do a drop kick into its gut. Hits with a natural 20. But the problem is when he nailed it there in the guts, and they were doing dexterity checks to see how he lands, how the creature took it, we had the rolls of a 1 and a 2. So this creature vomited half-eaten fish over top of Danny's character. I just want to make sure that you remember you haven't wiped it off yet, and it is still there. I'm just letting you know. So if you start feeling a little full of yourself there, big guy, you still got, you know, as real as they can be in this place, you got fish all over you, sir. With that, Oma had fallen through the water, and unfortunately, a very bad set of circumstances has smacked her all at once. And talk about trying to overcome your fears and facing things. She's in the middle of it now. Anyone that knows anything about D&D, drowning is serious business. The longer you go without being able to breathe, hit points start dropping. And we're not talking about rolling dice. We're talking about just dropping, okay? She finds herself where she floating underneath the surface of the water from anywhere from 5 to 10 foot in that cubicle. And she knows where the surface is. She's been able to see it. But she is stunned and can't take actions at the moment. So she's already lost a quarter of her hit points on her last turn. I believe, whose turn did we end on, Danny? Did you go one more time than it was her turn?
Nope. She didn't go because of who she was, and it was coming up to my turn.
Okay. And we'll bring the map up and get some battle music going and all that good stuff.
Because that thing is stunned, but I still have a blood oath with it, so.
Right, and there's some other things there that you were mentioning to me the other day that you have in mind for such occasions. So, having said that, I'll go ahead and start up some music, and I will share the screen, and we will get back into Inside the Soulstone, which is, I'm loving this Soulstone stuff, man. It's good. Let's go ahead and share screen. And we're sharing because we have an awesome editing team here that we just do all this stuff. We just go straight to YouTube and go straight to all these pages. We don't give two shits. Okay, I like that volume level there. Minimize you, get you going. Bam, and we're back in it. Okay, let me put this up top here. Actually, can I put it at the bottom? Yeah, there we go. That's the way to do it right there. I like that. It's cool because on the video, it shows where I put the bar, not where you guys put the bar. And I like it. I've got you guys lined up all four side by side in a very small strip at the bottom of the screen. I think I like that image about the best. So, yep, the music level's good. Too loud for you guys? Or are you okay with it?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. So, it was coming back around to Danny's turn. I've got the creature right here. I've got our initiative tracker sheet. And then it would be Oma's turn. As Matthew Mercer would say, you are on deck, or you are up next, young lady. Okay.
Alrighty, so as I recall, the never mind. Giant steel thing with a horn.
Beotodous.
Beotodous was stunned.
The one that you were fighting with is, yes, and he will get a chance to, he'll be stunned until the end of your next turn, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, then. So starting my turn, I'm going to use my bonus action, and I'm going to use a Phoenix Strike. Let's go ahead and see how much mana that costs. Awesome.
Okay.
8 points.
For everyone listening to that, mana is the way that Danny's character gauges his magic points. We use a magic point system in our game. And it's neat, when he summons and dwells upon these martial arts skills, he has an undetermined amount of that pool that he's going to spend. The more he spends, the stronger it is, but he is not in control of exactly how much he spends. It's a risky thing, but it's a very rewarding thing. So Danny, please go ahead. You are, if I'm not mistaken, it fell back on the ice. Ice is cracking all around the base of this creature. Okay. I remember you failed a dexterity check. Were you prone beside it?
No, actually, he landed on the ice and did well. It was the previous round he failed a dex check and went prone.
Okay, good deal. All right, so if you landed there, I'm going to say you're within 5 foot of the creature. Go ahead and do your strike, sir.
All right, so I am going to, because this is one of the rounds I only have 2 attacks, I'm going to just go ahead and do a called shot. How big is its eye since it's laying there quivering?
I'm going to say its eye is about the size of a softball.
Okay, so what are we looking at? -6 then?
So the head is 4. The eye would be 8. But since it's big, it would be, I'm going to go ahead and I'll give you a 6 because it's a larger size creature. You get a bonus of +1 to hit it anyway because of its size difference. But you also have advantage on this creature because it's prone.
All right. Well, in that case, not too bad. 18, which will give me damage and a half.
Because of your feet?
Yes, so I'm going to use my weapon specialist this time with his hands and gauntlets and use it to add a 1d6 to his damage this time.
And is that, now how often can you do that? Is that a once a day thing?
Yes, that's once a day.
Okay.
I also got a +1 on the attack roll anyway. That makes it a 19, which makes it critical. Never mind. That's cool. Okay. No, never mind. Straight die roll. Total to hit is a 18, 19, 30 to hit.
That
total.
Breaches. You are able to hit the eyeball. For folks watching, in our system, if you take the feats necessary to learn it, you can do called shots. Now, let's say a person's armored completely up, but they have a visor open in the middle of their helmet. It's a called shot to hit that open area, which makes the shot very difficult. But if you're able to hit it, they get no damage reduction from what they're wearing. So it's a double-edged sword. You have to decide and pick and choose your battle with it. And Danny, as they said in Indiana Jones, you have chosen wisely. So go ahead and roll those beautiful dice, sir.
All right, so we've got the there, and then for and I screwed up. I was going to say, but it's too late now. I was going to use advanced martial arts, but I'm going to have to stick to a regular one because I didn't pre-call it. Sorry, Oma. I hope I still do enough damage. All right, so we got 1d6 for that. 3, 5, 6. So, and that's that. And then 3d6
Yeah, he's sorry. He's only doing 3d6 more, Oma. Hope you can forgive him. Jesus.
25 doubled 50 plus 5. 55, actually.
55 points of damage.
That was because all dice rolls are doubled. That was 3d6 for the flaming fist at his level.
Right, I'm with you.
1d6 for the focus called shot.
Which you do once a day.
1d6. That one he can do as a full turn.
Oh, yeah, that's a called shot thing. Okay, and then you did the once a day weapon specialization.
Which was another 1d6.
That's awesome.
And then his 1d8 for his actual gauntlet that he wears on top of, because it just adds damage to his fists. So, yeah, 55 points of damage to the old eyeball, and he is only able to do feats 1 and 2. It's an odd number, so it would have been a 1, which is a flesh wound.
Okay, so with that, the creature is completely blind on that side of its eye, and it looks really bad. It's in pretty rough shape. As a matter of fact, you see the will to get up off the ice come across this creature as it... Okay. It is trying to escape you now, Danny. It is going to go into defensive backup mode. Yeah, not all creatures have to sit there and fight till the death, especially when it comes to creatures of the wild and things like that, when they know they're outmatched and that you just took out its eyeball practically.
Yeah, but it is under a compelled duel, so it has to stand there and swing at me.
I'll roll this with disadvantage then. Yeah, okay. With that, its bloodlust overtakes it because of what you put on it. And it wants to remain there and fight, but you know it's only because of that compelled duel. Other than that, oh, no, it got bloodied. Compelled duel was going anyway, Danny. Remember? That's one of the stipulations of that skill. Normally, when you cast something like this, if there's any damage taken and things like that, the skill ends. If you would look at it, if the creature's bloodied, it can choose to forego that. Do you see it there in the literature?
I'll take your, because I've got a shortened version on my character sheet right now.
Take DM's word. He knows what he's talking about, man. Okay.
I mean, the guy wrote it. He ought to know.
Point made. Thank you, buddy. So with that, that was one attack. What's your next one? Oh, no, that was the one action because of all this. Okay. So he is in really, really rough shape. He is going, okay, after that, that's the end of your turn. Or are you using any movement?
He's trying to get out of my area. That's awesome.
No, he's not. It's not his turn, buddy.
Oh, okay.
You just went. He's in really bad shape, and I'm wanting to know what you're doing with the rest of your turn.
Can I take a... I know what's going on with Oma, but he doesn't. So do I got any perception check, anything like that? Because he's in a bloodlust as well, and he just wants to tear this thing apart. But
roll a perception check of disadvantage to see what your surroundings are, what's going on in your surroundings.
Well, that sucks because can I just take the first roll and would that be cool?
No.
Well, then I rolled a 19 and a 1, so he couldn't see anything but seal blood.
Dace, if you could, do you have a player's handbook handy?
That I do.
Would you please look up the spell Compelled Duel?
Compelled.
Yes.
There she is.
Okay.
Compelled Duel. Right.
And just tell me, the compelled duel has been broken by the creature because of a standard I have said has been met by the creature. So what we're curious about now is, if it's broke on one end of it, is it broke on both ends of it? And take your time because we're going to move on. Just come to it.
Yep. I'm going to have a little skim through the book now.
Okay. So.
That's actually a good point. If he broke it, it should be... the spell effect should be over.
That's what I'm saying. I just would like to read the exact words on it, and I'm just trying to involve Dace a little bit.
So in that case, I shouldn't have had disadvantage if I didn't have the compelled duel, right?
We'll see in a minute. Hey, I'm gonna lawyer up. I'm gonna lawyer up.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Right on.
They're expensive and untrustworthy.
If you win in my country, you get all your money back from.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's one of the things I love. If you win, the loser pays you your lawyer fees and what they owe you.
That's usually how it works here, but then the lawyer takes like about a third of it.
Right on.
Yeah, that's pretty much same thing here.
So on compelled duel, what are you reading?
I think I passed it.
Is it not in the book there in the player's handbook?
Let me check
No,
something real quick.
it is. I'm looking through the C section. It's not alphabetized. I thought it was.
Oh, okay. Because it may be some strange ability off the side. It isn't listed in the normal spells. So it could be.
Oh, no, found it.
Good.
Compelled
Okay.
duel.
Yes.
I'll read the description.
Okay.
You attempt to compel a creature into a duel. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is drawn to you, compelled by your divine demand. For the duration, it has disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than you, and must make a wisdom saving throw each time it attempts to move a space. This is more than 30 feet away from you. If it succeeds on the saving throw, the spell doesn't restrict the target's movement for that turn. The spell ends if you attack any other creature. If you cast a spell that targets a hostile creature other than the target, if a creature friendly to you damages the target or casts a harmful spell on it, or if you end your turn more than 30 feet away from the target.
Okay. So
Also, I just checked on it, dude, and because I went through and looked, the bloodied aspect in that is when Dayhon can use it again, is when he's bloodied.
okay, but it doesn't say anything about the creature being able to break this when it is bloody. Being able
No,
to
it's
No.
for him. The blood oath is like it's who's going to prevail.
Okay. So if anything, at this point, if we're doing it that way, it does another wisdom saving throw here to see if it is still under the effects of your compelled duel. Okay. And then we'll move forward from there.
Which the caveat to his is it's a charisma save because it's through his kit.
He failed. I rolled a total of 5. So the creature does still wish to attack you. It is still strong and holding. Okay. So you used your whole round to do that one very powerful 55 to it. The creature is still stunned, though. So I don't even know if it would have had a chance to do that. Okay, and your DC on the stun was what, Dane? Do you remember?
I do not.
Well, he rolled a 21 at the beginning of this turn. Well, it's not his turn. What you've got is this. Let's keep it plain simple now, okay? You've blasted the creature. It's super hurt, and my YouTube video is doing a commercial. It needs to stop. You've hit the creature. It is still stunned on this turn. You are still compelled to stick into a duel with it. You have rolled a perception check with disadvantage because you are still dueling it. You have failed it. You're already 5 foot up to it, so unless you have a bonus action or you have some other way of taking another action, your turn is done unless you want to run around this thing. You are compelled to fight it. In Danny's version of this, both of them are compelled to duel by using this.
Well, he's compelled, so he's going to want to keep pounding away at it. I'm going to use Action Surge. That'll bring me, this one I'll have 3 rounds. I was hoping to be able to save Action Surge to do something else, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, but, Action Surge blowing. Okay, that'll work. I'm going to write this down. You've used it. All right. Now that you've used your Action Surge and you are just seeing red on this creature, what are you choosing to do, Danny? He's
You know
here for
what?
blood, Alex.
Oh, goodness.
You know what? Bonus action kicks up the fist again. Son of a bitch, Tim. Hopefully those roll out for damage too. And
You have advantage still because it's stunned and, well, it's prone.
all right. Well, with advantage, I got a 17.
Plus.
This time I'll use, because I can do it once per round with a 1d4 weapon specialist for critical hit. 17 plus 2 is 19. That puts me in the double damage range. And it'll be this time a spinning elbow strike.
Okay, subtract your movement that takes to do that, and then he gets to add a, what is it, 1d4 or 1d6?
Well, the spinning gives him a 1d6. Actually, it'll be a spinning back fist. That way I can use, that way I
Okay,
don't have
do
to
me a
use the other
favor.
one.
Because you're on slippery terrain and things like that, I want you to roll me a dexterity saving throw to perform a spinning move.
Natural 19.
Okay, that'll work. I'll say with bonuses, that's going to put you over what I could roll for a DC regardless. We're going to say it performs it. So he digs his heel deep into this ice and begins to spin. Dace, roll me a saving throw for the ice. Let me know how it's holding up underneath him.
Yep.
So that's
17.
Pretty good, pretty good. 15 was the magic number. If he rolled it than that, he was going to go right through and be like, ta-da! Oh, shit. Dig it in.
Like, well, I'm using my
27
blue
points
dice
of
today,
damage.
so it likes you.
Nice. What was your total, sir? I'm sorry, Danny.
27.
27. If I'm not mistaken, that breaches the creature. So tell me where exactly on the creature you were aiming your strike that might miss the main heft of it. Where did you get this attack in where it does straight damage to it?
He's still just attacking to the same area. He's just not as defined. He's in the head, eyes, kind of right at the front of it.
Okay, I will say you get back behind where the bone plate of the jaw kind of stops in the smooth body, and there's some gills maybe on this. Well, no, this is a mammal. So it'd be a soft area back behind where its jawbone is. And you get right up underneath there, and you strike in with a spinning back fist, correct?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead and roll me damage for that.
I did. It was 27, I think.
Wow, 27? Okay.
Yep.
Danny, paint me a picture.
So as he punches that thing in his eye, and he just kind of just grunts and goes into it with another adrenaline rush, digs his heel in there as ice kind of flows around as he skids through the ice, comes around, and the strikes it in the back. You see blood and bone fly out of that busted eye socket where he hits it from the other side, and brain material. Pretty epic.
Okay,
And,
so with that, Danny has defeated this creature as it lays there lifeless. When I say paint me a picture, that means something's dead.
Got it.
Okay, so with that, I will do what is traditional to do with these creatures when they are dead. Let's go ahead and filter, color adjustments, hue and saturation.
Fitting music for something, for an animal just dying.
Right. You are done, sir. You're grayed out and done. Okay, with that, Danny, you still have an attack left, and you have your movement, your bonus action, your reaction, and all those things. As you get done hitting this creature, and you're starting to regain your mind, the blood stops pumping from your head so much, as you start to gather yourself once again. What is it that you're doing?
he looks around for Oma.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
Right. That's better. 19 with bonuses.
Okay, of 19. You don't see her, but what you see is a large spot going in the ice down in this area where she's at. And Elma's right there, but I'm going to fade her out even more because she's deep underneath the water surface, okay?
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, using his reaction, he is going to use Phoenix Aura, or Aura of Rebirth.
Okay, are you keeping track of how many mana you've used doing this?
Yes, I am. I got to roll for this one.
Okay.
6. All right.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. Before we move forward, just to know that when you do action surge, it gives you another major action. By definition, does it give you extra bonuses and extra things of that nature as well? Or does it just give you an extra action when you use action surge?
It just gives you an extra major action.
That's what I thought. So you don't get any more bonus actions or reactions and things like that. You get one extra major action.
Imagine if it did, though. Oh, man.
That would be badass.
Yeah, but
So
I never
OP,
used my
but it'd be amazing.
I never used my previous reaction. So he's just now reacting.
I'll allow it this one time.
All right. So as a reaction, your character radiates an aura of swirling red and gold flames. On your turn while in this stance, you may select one injured or fallen ally and choose to remain within 15 feet of them. During this time, the wounded character gains a bonus to their damage reduction equal to your charisma modifier. Additionally, any death saving throws attempted within the area of effect have advantage, and grant the character a waking ally the amount of hit points equal to your charisma modifier.
Okay, so
And then any
what
enemy
triggers? Hold on for a minute. Hold on. What triggers the reaction?
Seeing the broken ice and the emotional trauma from his childhood.
In the rules, under that move, all reactions are a reaction to something, whether you've been attacked or you've had something happen to you. What initiates the reaction? You see what I'm not trying to put screws to you, but if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. See, normally a reaction is if something happens to you or you're hit, you just got done pummeling this thing. Nothing happened particularly to you to use a reaction, Danny.
Well then,
are we agreeing on that?
Yep.
Okay. I know Danny's like, screw you, Brian. I'm just trying to save her. I'm just trying to save her. But that's a point. It's because in that way you're kind of using it as a bonus action. It needs to be in a reaction to something that stimulates it. Okay.
Oh.
Now, typically, if I'm not mistaken, in the literature there, it says if someone does that really close beside you, or something happens to you particularly, is when you can use that. Correct?
Yeah, it's just as a reaction. So.
Okay. So yeah, nothing triggered it. So you have. I'm still going to let you have some movement. I'm going to say that you looked around and saw that this was going on. I'll give you your movement, but that's about all you're going to have.
All right. Well, I guess he catches his breath and dives in.
Okay. Looking around and wanting to invoke this power within yourself, you know you have it in your ability to help, but you just don't know what draws it out of the creature inside of you. You look around, you see broken ice over to the side, but no sign of Oma. As soon as you fear for the worst, you take straight off running. I'm going to say it's going to use the rest of your movement. You used how many feet in your spinning move? You had 10 there. And then in the previous round, you had done, no, you were standing right there and hitting it. So you've used 10 so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go to 15, 20. I'm going to say it's going to take 15 foot to get over to her, so that's 25 total. And as you jump into the water, I need you to roll Constitution saving throw.
25.
You're able to hold back the pain that the cold water causes you as soon as it rushes into your eyes, up your nose, and across your face as you head down into the water. I'm going to say you're able to swim 5 foot down into the area. It is somewhat dark down here because of what all's going on, and now there is a small red cloud of blood behind you where you've killed the other Beotodous, and the blood seems to be draining into the lake from the top of the ice. Roll me a perception check, please. Music's
16.
working. 16. 16's not quite enough. You make out a couple different things. I'm going to say you make out 2 things. Both are within 5 or 10 foot of you. They could be big chunks of ice that are floating down here just beneath the surface. One could possibly be her, but you can't make out a humanoid shape. It's just dark. You can see darker chunks of things, and this blood is starting to enter into the water down below. That is at the end of your turn, Danny.
That's it.
Okay. Oma. Before that starts, I need to do something that's going to be pretty cool here. We're going to add something to this real quick. Okay, I just got to make sure I got the right color. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so let's do this.
That's cool.
Right? We can do so many neat things like that, dude. And that is representing the blood in the water, and it'll move and expand depending on how things go, okay? This format makes it where you can just do all kinds of neat things, Dace. I like it a lot. Okay,
It's very
so
cool.
with that, Oma,
Mhm.
you've looked up to the top. You know where the surface is. If you could just get your senses back to you. You were stunned from the cold. You've already taken 25% of your hit points. They're down. Because you're stunned, you're rolling your checks. It's not easy going at this point right now. You are roughly 9 foot below the surface of the water. Okay, it's starting to feel heavy in your ears. You can feel the water pushing against you, and you know it has already entered your mouth. I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw to
Okay.
see if you're able to fight off the stunned effect.
Seven.
Okay, with that, and if you have anything else you can add to that, like if you have inspiration, if you have something else you can use, this might be the time to waste those.
Um,
I think she got a point of inspiration when she did the thing with the mask, didn't she, Danny?
We did.
Okay,
oh,
so here's what you can do. I have optional rules for that.
okay.
You can automatically add a 10, or you can re-roll your roll and hopefully get something better. So if you automatically add a 10 to it, that's a 17, but that's not going to guarantee it's going to be enough to pass it because you're not quite sure what the DC is. So do you want to risk it and do 10, or do you want to re-roll the saving throw altogether?
I want to add 10.
Okay. 10 is it. Dace, I need you to roll me a 1d20 plus a 1d4 and tell me what the total is.
$19.
Shit.
even with using your inspiration, you do not have enough to get out of this situation. It is too impactful on you. You are not able to fight the stunned condition, and you take another 25% of your hit points gone. You are now bloodied with only half of your hit point total remaining. Okay.
So I should roll the green dice for Alex because they
Right.
like her.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
The blue ones like Danny, and the blue ones want Alex dead, while the green ones hate Danny and like Alex. Maybe I'll switch dice when I roll for you again.
Right. So now there's another one of these swimming around down here under the water. And it's this guy. Now, guys, remind me, did he not break through? Yeah, he come up, did a belly flop on her, landed, and now this Beotodous is under the water swimming around. So now we have a decision to make. Who's it go after? I'm going to roll 1d20. There's blood in the water over by the 1. Danny has jumped into the water, and Danny is close to both objects, so he is down there as well. So at this point, with both of you floating in that way, I'm going to say that this is a 50-50 shot. So 1 through 10, the creature, Alex, is going to come after you, being down underneath the water, and 11 through 20, it is going after Danny.
Okay.
16. Woo! Okay. So with that, the creature comes rocketing over. Dan, you are in the water. It will get a bonus to attack you. It'll have advantage to attack you in its own natural habitat, whereas you do not move nearly as well in here. The creature is going to rush up, and it is going to try to bite onto your legs. And then we're going to see what happens from there. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yep, okay. Okay. 22 to hit.
That hits but does not breach.
Okay, so the creature is able to grasp and bite on to your legs. I'm going to roll damage, and we're going to see how your Behemoth's Mantle holds up. Okay? So with that, $14 points of piercing damage.
It does not breach. Oh, actually, it would, because that area wouldn't be covered by the Behemoth's Mantle.
No. He didn't do a cold shot.
Oh, well, I was figuring he grabbed me on the legs.
Well, he's just theatrics. Unless I call a shot, that would have been a minus to hit for him.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite enough, but your armor will take 7 points of armor points damage from that attack. Okay?
Okay.
So with that, the creature has a grasp on you.
I'd like to use my reaction and use Aura of Rebirth.
Sure. Danny's just sitting there with his hand on the nuke button, just ready to do this move. Okay, buddy. You know what? You win. Dude, and you know what's even crazier about that? What's the radius on it?
15 feet.
I said you're already within that of her regardless.
Wow.
I mean, I did. I mean, I can't. I mean, it is what it is. So go ahead and do your thing, you freaking cheater.
All right. Well, any enemy entering or within takes 1d6 fire and 1d6 radiant damage, plus your character's charisma modifier.
I'm going
Dex
to
save for
negate the
half damage.
fire because you're underwater. I'm going to go ahead and do your radiant damage plus your charisma. So go ahead.
All right. So that would be 5 plus. 7, 12.
Okay.
That's what it's proficient. No, sorry, just charisma, not. So that is 8.
Okay.
That's proficiency.
8 points of radiant damage to the creature. It is going to use its reaction to let you go. Okay. Now, what else happens when you do that?
She gains damage reduction equal to my charisma modifier, so she has an extra +3 to her damage reduction.
Okay, make a
And
note of that, Alex.
any death saves have advantage, and if she succeeds, they grant hit points equal to my charisma modifier. So she'll get an extra 3 hit points if.
Yeah, and this is called Aura of Rebirth, correct?
Yep.
And make sure you're using your mana points when you're doing this, because you're burning through them pretty quick.
Yeah. I already wrote them down on the last one and didn't erase it. So.
Okay. So, with that, is that something that would happen automatically to her right now, or at the start of her next turn? It's a death save. So, okay.
Well, until she makes the save, it won't matter.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So with that, the creature lets go with a reaction from you hitting it with that blast. Actually, let me see if it would or not. It's a beast. It may not want to let go. Let's see here. No, it doesn't want to let go. It just takes the damage. With that, it is going to attempt to start swimming straight down with you at full speed. As it does, I don't know how you would fight against this strength-wise, Danny, because you simply have nothing to keep your bearing on. I am going to hinder it a little bit because it is dragging you along with it, but you're actually extra weight. It can't do a charge of all of its movement because it's already attacked, but it can go its movement in water, which is 50 feet.
Yeet.
The creature goes 50 foot straight down into the depths of the water. You, sir, would take 17 points of non-lethal damage. And it is now dark. You can't see the surface any longer. You can just feel the pain, and you can feel this pressure rising in your head as this creature is going straight down with you. Okay? Beginning of the next turn, it's you, Danny. You thought you saw Oma just long enough for a minute. You reached out, hoping that you found her, having a hard time seeing through the blood and just the darkness underneath the surface of the ice. Then this creature, pain just shoots up through you as it latches onto your legs. You fight back with an automatic reaction from the stance that you've been taking, but it just wasn't quite enough. The fire didn't have the effect under here you thought it would. And with that, the creature keeps a hold of its prey and starts to dive downwards. You feel water rocking up past your hair, the pressure building in your head. This is something you feared when you were a kid, that this would happen. And it's becoming real. You've got to get a grip on this somehow, and you just don't know how to do it at this moment. What are you doing, Danny?
I'm going to try Flaming Gale Strike.
Okay, now listen. I understand it's magical flame, but I am going to give all your flame damage rolls disadvantage under the water here.
Well, the flame damage isn't actually that much. It's the wind damage that matters.
Okay.
And
okay. And I'm just trying to be logical of what's going on, as logical as you can be of magic. You know, it's not like you're going to start bonfires down here, bud.
All right.
Deep
well,
water fireballs.
That's it. Yeah, yeah.
a magical
Wouldn't
fire
that just
would
be a
turned
Mac
into-
gun round at that point?
I don't know what it would be. It'd make a funny sound, I'll tell you that.
Oh, absolutely.
Total would be the die roll was a 17. The gale strike would probably.
I would normally give you disadvantage fighting underwater, but since you are connected to it, I'm going to say you can hit something that's bit onto you. You know what I mean?
All right, so with his attack on that, it would be that. So 17, 28.
28
as far as it, to hit,
it,
but
but I can't do a breaching. You know, it would have breached it, but you can't see it. You're just punching at something that has a hold of you in the darkness.
well, actually, what this does is this creates a. As an action, you choose a creature within 30 feet. The creature must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes a 3d8 wind slashing damage, plus 1d8 fire damage based on your mana roll, which would have only been 3. So the fire is not a big deal. Additionally, you can push the targeted creature up to 15 feet plus your mana roll, which would be 18 feet, and knock it prone on a successful save. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and you don't push it or knock it back.
Okay.
So basically, each save would be my die roll plus my charisma and proficiency. Is the way everything on this works. So that would have been 17 plus 7, so 24.
Okay, and that's a what kind of saving throw? A strength?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to roll this, then we'll tell you how this goes down because we're in unique circumstances here, Danny. Okay?
That's how you recoup in it. I'm gonna leave that separate thing.
First, I want you to do me a Constitution saving throw, Danny.
20 total.
Okay, you're good. You're actually still able to hold your breath, even through the pain of this, but the DC gets worse every round you're down here. Okay? Okay, the creature failed miserably on a strength saving throw. So the way I'm going to interpret that is this. Okay? This creature is a large-sized creature. It has bit into you. You've heard it once, and then you're pulling off this immense wind-slashing ability that has the ability to knock lesser creatures completely off of you. With it failing that strength attack, I'm going to say that you were able to nudge yourself loose from its grasp. And then I will take the damage from it. And what was the damage?
3d8. I was hoping the wind actually pushed me backwards. 8.
I'll put both of you at 5 foot away from each other, a total gap of 10.
12 points of damage.
Okay, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, you went 5. And I'm not going to say because it wasn't specified. You're not going up.
Damn.
You're going to go sideways. Okay? If you had specified I want to hit this thing in a way it propels me to the surface, I would have done that, but that wasn't mentioned. So I'm going to have you move laterally. Okay? You feel free. You feel cold water rushing into these wounds on your leg. Okay? The bite has hurt quite a bit. You can taste blood in the water, in the salt water, and stuff like that. But there's this growing darkness over you, knowing that it's let go, but where is it? Okay.
I'm going to use my movement to start pulling toward the surface.
What's your total movement?
35 feet.
Okay. Roll me a Constitution saving throw check real quick. This is going to decide something for me.
16 plus 7.
Okay. I'll give you the greater half of it. So I'll give you the 20-foot side of it. Okay? Because your movement is... I'm going to say between... You know, your movement is reduced, but you did a good Constitution saving throw to swim. I'm going to give you 15 foot closer to the surface at this point. And when you do, you start seeing a faint light in that direction. You're able to tell which way was up and which way was down. Okay. And you see a faint light up above you. Roll me a perception check of disadvantage, Danny.
17.
Okay, Dace, roll me a 1d20 and a 1d4.
16.
Okay. You're able to make out a shape, Danny. Up towards the surface, you see what seems to be the lifeless, maybe to you, body of Alex. In between you and the surface, as the creature went straight down with you, you propelled yourself sideways 5 foot from its maw, but you're able to see a shape that you almost are certain is her. Okay, you are 35 foot roughly from the surface of the water right now. You've used your movement and you've used one of your attacks, and you are still in the invoking of the Phoenix, correct?
Yep.
Okay, your Constitution saving throws have let me know that you're able to not only hold your breath at this point, but you're able to keep that maintained, but the DCs get tougher from here on out. Okay? Now, she passed through the aura for that brief moment. Okay? But then you were pulled away from her and taken straight down under the water. So she does not remain in that area. Okay? So, having said that, Oma, it is your turn.
Okay.
I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Nine.
Oof. Okay. All right. With that, well, no, hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly. I just want to make sure I'm doing this correctly.
Okay.
So you are stunned from the effects of the cold water.
Mhm.
Okay. And you are fighting for your breath. Dace, in the Dungeon Master's Handbook, you have that, right?
Yep.
Look in there, because I know what the stunned condition does. I'm just deciding if I need to make a hip shot call here for how long it lasts when she's down inside this water. Because if something would have hit her, although it would have sucked, I almost would have gave her a chance to snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? Her drowning, because it's not like, normally a monk strike, when it hits you, you're stunned until the end of the next turn. And she's drowning here, and she's been stunned for 2 turns in this cold water. So we have to imagine it's been roughly 12 to 15 seconds.
I know cold water in the lungs will definitely it'll have a almost like you've been punched in the gut effect.
Yeah, I know. The initial shock locked her up when this happened. So I have to decide at what point she just naturally breaks free of this, or I have her keep rolling Constitution saving throws until she snaps out of it on her own. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Do you see anything in there that pertains to drowning, Dace?
I'm going to the effects tab at the moment.
Okay.
Just
We're going to get you figured out here, Alex. Whatever happens, it's going to be fair, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Bingo.
What do you see, buddy?
Oh no, I just found the correct section. That I'm pretty sure it will be in ability check,
Mhm.
advanced.
I'm done with that. We need help with these.
resolution and consequences. Probably it.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just so we can move the game on. I'm going to make a call. Okay?
Okay.
So what I'm imagining is this. I'm going to say the effect of the stun and the length of the stun that you suffered when you hit the surface, when this landed on you and all this shit happened to Oma, is based off of your initial saving throw. Okay?
Okay.
The rounds that it would have lasted is based on how you did on your official one. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you rolled pretty low when you rolled your first stun check, correct?
I did.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 1d4, and whatever that is, that's how many turns your character is to be stunned for.
Okay.
At a maximum. Okay? And then every round, you'll have a chance to overcome it and snap out of it, okay?
Okay.
So far, if I'm not mistaken, it's this will be your second turn just now, the one you just failed.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to roll 1d4 right now. Okay, that is a 3.
Okay.
So next round will be the last one that you have to do a save on. Okay, if you're able to overcome it, that's fine. And then you'll have that round to react. If not, that'll be the last round that you'll be stunned in the water. Okay?
Okay.
So you failed your Constitution saving throw again. And then you took more hit point damage, correct?
I did.
Okay. So now you're down to, is it half now? Is that where you're at?
Roughly half.
Okay. I think you have a little less than that because you got hit once before that happened. Right. Okay. So that's where you're at now. You're unable to take physical actions. Okay. You're seeing the water. You're feeling things rush against you. You actually think you heard for just a minute. You thought maybe you heard Dayhon's voice yell out your name through the deep waves in a very gurgled sound. You're feeling entities and bodies rush past you as you're still staring up, just trying to get over the shock that your body's going through. I mean, you literally just got sumo smashed by one of these things through the ice and hit the cold like bam. And if this place ever was real to you, it's real now.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just got to wonder in the deeper recesses of your mind, is Omar out there? Am I letting him down? Is this is that moment that I came here for? I came here to make sure that people weren't babysitting me, that I was the predator, not the prey anymore. Okay? All right. We'll end your turn on that. The next person up is going to be the other Leonidas Beotodous. There you go. I'll remember eventually.
You wanted stun effects and drowning, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what I found is that it continues until you either make the saving throw or you're saved in a different way. That's drowning. On the stun effect, it lasts up to a certain number of turns, or it lasts a certain number of turns from basically saving throws. If you have to make them, if you have to make a saving throw, it continues. If it will specify if it lasts a certain number of turns. However, it's up to DM discretion.
Okay, so actually, you make me very happy, Dace, because off the hip, I pretty much just nailed that. That's exactly
pretty much,
what
yeah.
we did. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good deal. When things make sense, they just make sense. That's good. Okay. Oma, we're trying. We're trying.
Coast, please sponsor us. Please sponsor us, Wizards of the Coast.
There you go. Yeah. Don't die. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So moving on, and I can just see Ron sitting there just shaking his head like, man, you guys are trying to kill her. This is terrible.
So there is one thing. The saved and stuff, but there was a quick section. If you're saved and then re-enter the condition, it resets. So you don't continue from where you were. It just resets.
Yeah, yeah. You don't get immunity from water just because you almost drowned 5 minutes ago. Yeah, it doesn't work that
Nope.
way. Right on. If it was that way, I'd never be drunk again. It's pretty good stuff. All right, so moving forward, now we're going to the creature. Danny. 35 foot from the surface, just did the freaking the gale attack, which is one of the strongest Phoenix abilities that you have. I'm just curious, Danny, how are you looking on mana?
Oh, well, I've spent 27 out of 61, so I've got like half left, basically.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, but I've barely scratched one creature.
You scratched that last creature pretty good. Don't tell me that shit. You did some scratching, sir. 55 points of damage, whatever. Poor baby. Damn, Danny. All right. So, Dace. Danny is down here with that sucker, and they're fighting and whatnot. I'm going to say, okay, 1 through 14, and the creature's going after Danny. 15 through 20, it's going to ease your prey. Roll me a d20.
I'm using the green dice, Alex, so hopefully it likes you.
Okay.
Remember, all rolls are good rolls. What the fuck? Did you roll like a 20? God. Oh, Alex.
Never mind. The dice want you dead.
Oh, my. Okay. So, this Beotodous
Okay.
decides it's had enough of this guy. And it's going to come
I'm
for...
so
God bless.
sorry. I rolled the dice that liked you last time. Never mind. I just want you to die.
It's going up through the water here.
Oh gosh.
Goodness gracious.
Let's try my purple dice, I guess.
So he was
Times
40 foot away.
not 0.
He can move 50 foot in a turn without
1.
going crazy,
So you put 2 zeros after it, and it's 800.
which is just about right there, and then still have an action left. So I'm going to go up there and I'm going to take my attack. Yeah. Okay, so the creature's coming up to the surface, and it's coming at you. The only thing is...
Does it pass through my area as it's going to her?
can it visibly see the stuff swirling around you?
Probably.
Okay, so intelligence check for the creature, because it's dumb. Okay, it failed. So that's a good thing. Here's what I'm going to do with that, Danny. Well, it knocked you back 5, and it knocked it back 5. How big is the radius around you?
15 feet.
Okay, that puts it right in there. That puts it right in there.
Yeah, well, then I swam up right after that towards the
Upstairs?
surface, so I'm between it.
Oh, you did. Okay. I'm with you. There are some things even I cannot do on this map. So you're there. So direct line to her is through you. Now, what was great about that is it has 50 foot of movement. And it is 40 foot away from her. So when it swam, it would have had 10 foot of movement left. Okay. When it goes through and it gets hit by this, see, I almost wish it would have passed the intelligence check, because it would have swam around you, and then it wouldn't have had quite enough movement to get to her. But the problem is, it goes through and gets hit by that. So go ahead and roll the damage that it does to a person that enters through its area, Danny. And then you may get an attack of opportunity here.
All right, so it only takes the radiant damage because of the fire. So, 6 points. Actually, 6 plus 3, 9 points.
I'll do half because it's magical fire.
Okay, so fire would be another 3. Half.
Okay, and I'll add 3 on from earlier because we canceled fire completely out earlier. But since it's a magical flame, I'll do it. It has resistance versus it. So you said 9 altogether,
Mm-hmm.
plus 3 from earlier, gives you 12. And that's just automatic when it goes through. So what about your attack of opportunity? Do you have that ability?
I can take an attack of opportunity, but I can't do anything fancy with it. So
Okay, it's a reaction, and it's going to be at disadvantage if you do it because you're underwater.
I don't got pee.
Shoot. Yeah, I'm just gonna try it. All right. Yeah. So no, natural 2 for disadvantage.
Yep. You swing at this creature and realizes that you've misgauged your attack. You tried to wind up in a certain way to hit it as you're trying to swim up towards the surface, and you were not able to complete the movement. It's very hard to see underneath here and move, let alone as cold as it is, and you were not able to connect to the creature. You can see it move and slip just past your fingertips as this radius of energy that you have swirling around you swipes it. You can see that it hurts it and affects it. You can see the bubbles come from its mouth, but it's still rushing up towards the surface. And its horn is lowered. The creature is going towards the top to make an attack on Alex.
Divided by -2 and 2/7.
9. That is 16. What is your armor? Okay, it's 10. And then you don't have any defenses right now other than what you're wearing. So tell me what your armor class primary is first, Alex. Your ACP, that's in the shield.
21.
Okay, and then what's your armor class breach?
29.
Okay, so there's an 8 difference there. 21 to 29. So that means 80% of your body is typically covered in something that you have on. So 10 and 18. Okay, it hits you, but it doesn't breach you based on that. I had to do math. I had to take away your ability to dodge and evade. And so it's going to hit you, but you're going to get damage resistance based on what you're wearing against the attack. So what is the damage reduction on the stuff that you're wearing? It will say DR. It'll be on the very right-hand side of that column. It tells all the stuff about your armor. It'll be a lower number, but there's going to be one there. Probably 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it's 3.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so okay. Okay, that's not bad. 4 and then okay. Okay. You take 9 points of piercing damage. He didn't roll super. Okay. And your armor would take 7. So mark down there in that little box in the bottom right-hand corner of your character sheet that your armor points are -7. Okay. When that gets to 0, if it depletes all your armor points and it's tore them up, let me know, okay? And you took that other amount in health. Are you on death's door, or are you still kind of in this gray area in the middle?
Let's see. Because I was bloodied, and then the aura of rebirth healed me for 3, and then, but then failing the dex save, it dropped again. And then it dropped again 9 points. So I'm not doing too great.
Shit.
Did I make it within 15 feet of her?
No. Very close. Not quite. She was between 5 and 10 from the surface, and you're still 35 foot from the surface. You're close, but not quite. Okay? So, with that, the creature has struck at you with this great horn attack, and it has hit you And that is going to be the end of the creature's turn for now. Okay. So let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. At this point, the creature's just mad. You would think that it would have bit you. And I've got a D4 that I'm rolling to see how it attacks. I'm trying to be neutral about it. And now the creature is just doing this out of spite. Now he's just mad at you all for being there. With that, Danny, it is going to be your turn. You are, we said you're 35 foot from the surface. Okay. And she was roughly between 5 and 10 foot down in the water. This thing is between you two now, and you can see the shape of it, and it has gored her with its horn, and it's kind of looking around like it's maybe wanting to circle back around and try to get another attack at her. They are in range of each other, and you've got exactly 15 foot, and you'll be right beside her if you'd keep swimming straight up. But that's going to take 30 foot of movement from you because you're underwater swimming.
I'm going to, I don't know if I can do it under here or not, but I would look, if I can, I'd like to take the dash action and go for a gulp of air. Because if he passes out, it's not going to do any good for either one of them.
Yes, you can do the dash action. It takes your entire turn, but you can do that and get a breath of air. I'll give you breathing as a free action. How about that?
All right.
You know, normally you can do little things as a free action, like don't use poison and look out for the tiger. You know, I'll let you breathe. I mean, shit, I'm a fair guy.
Door.
Yeah, right. Kick in the door. So go ahead, Danny. So Oma, things are bad. You're just kind of floating there like, what to do? And you see Danny and you're looking over in the bubbles. You're like, and he just swims right past you. Goes to the surface. He looks at you and he says, and he swims up by. So
Oh, that's great.
that's fantastic. So go ahead, Danny, get your breath of air, I guess. Go ahead and do what you're going to do.
It wouldn't do much good if I failed to concentrate.
Oh, you can justify it all day if you want. The people watching know what just went down. They know what happened. They know what happened.
He's going after a breath of air.
Okay, go ahead. So you go to the top. You surface like a dolphin at SeaWorld. You jump up there and the water comes up and you're getting this deep breath of air. That's taken your action and your movement. If you have a bonus action to use, now's the time. And you are at the surface now. Talk to me.
I guess for a bonus action, I'm going to just go ahead and charge the Phoenix Fist up again.
Okay. Is that one aura still going on? How long does that last, Danny?
Let me see. It looks like as long as I maintain concentration.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
All right, 14 plus 7 is 21. Plus for concentration, I've got...
Because of your skills, right?
Yeah, another 2. So that's 21, 23.
That's enough. DM's going to help you here for a minute, Oma.
Okay.
As he's swimming up past you, he swims within that aura that he is still maintaining. Now, does that take magic or mana from you every turn you have it on, Danny?
It doesn't say that, which is...
Most spells don't. I just wanted to check to see. You get 3 more hit points healed to you, Alex, as he passes by you, as he gives you like an underwater high five, as he's thinking about only himself. He goes up to the surface.
I love that. Passes a drowning person to breathe.
Yeah, because Danny's like, she came here to prove herself. I'm not holding her hand. She's got this. She's got this.
Tough love.
She'll be. Yeah, she can.
Tough love. Tough love.
She can one me on the literal water.
Yeah, yeah. So with that, you, and now since you're on the surface and she's 10 foot below the surface, She is within your area. She has advantage on this throw.
Oh, thank goodness.
Your DM thanks you, and I thank you. Okay, so Alex, it's your turn.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
If you listen to me,
Huh?
if you roll that damn dice low again, we're going to do a video where you melt the son of a bitch in the microwave, and we're all going to watch. Okay?
Okay.
I'm telling you, that'll get views. So
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine who has a metal forge.
there you go. So
Fun.
with advantage, because Danny is here using this move around you, you got your 3 hit points from it. Roll something. Help me. Help it.
Do you want me to re-roll the DC?
No, nope. It is what it is. No, yeah.
Okay. Come on, something.
Nat 20.
Come on.
Hit that nat 20.
17. Okay. Now,
There we go.
is that with any kind of bonus added to it?
That's without bonuses.
Okay. And then what's your constitution bonus?
+2, so I got 19.
That
That'll
matches the
work.
DC.
You are not stunned.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right, and since you
There
are
we
a
go.
raging ally, you gain 3 points.
Well, she already did that when you passed her.
Yeah, okay, she wouldn't have got that until she was waking.
Oh, okay. So now, Oma, you're in the water.
Mhm.
You are a proficient swimmer.
Da-da-da-da-da.
You do understand how to swim. Your clothes feel heavy on you, and you are chilled to the bone, and you are hurt pretty badly. This thing just gored you and scarred you up along your side, and you can see that you've been marked heavily too by this creature. You know that the surface of the water is 10 foot. In 20 foot, you could get up to the surface of the water if you wanted to. You can summon something. You can, there's so many things you could do. If you want, go ahead and do what you got to do. What are you trying to attempt here? You stay in
Can I
this water
move?
much longer, you're going to drown.
Right. Can I move and then use an action?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I would like to swim to the surface.
Okay,
Finally breathe.
okay, which is good.
Now.
Now,
And
go ahead. Then we're going to talk about hit points in a minute. Go ahead.
I would like to use my action to summon Blackclaw.
Okay, you're wanting to summon the wolf.
Yep.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, nope, it's fine. Black Claw it is. You're using your action, so you are still in the water. You have not climbed out of the water onto the ice. You are just up where you can get air.
Yep.
Okay. I think when you summon Black Claw, it's a major action.
Mhm.
Okay, and then his turn is immediately after yours, as it says in the book. Okay, in the book, because I wrote the book. So go ahead and describe to everyone what it looks like when you summon Black Claw.
Okay. So I'd take my staff and start doing a ritual dance in the water at this point.
Yeah, it's like Olympic swimmers. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah. And graceful, flowing, spinning around, up and down and around and over and probably for Black Claw it'd be like an added darkness to the movements.
Okay. We can say that you have the kind of necrotic colored patterns that trace back behind you. You might even hear a howl come from a very distant off location as you see Black Claw rise up. First, you would see the paw prints along the ice and moving the snow, larger paw prints. And as they walk up, all of a sudden there's a gust of hot breath that comes from a mouth that is still yet invisible, that comes towards you and blows past your face as your hair goes back. And as it does, the first part of Black Claw you see are the eyes, as it is standing on the ice beside you, looking at you. And then, almost like a rippling effect, you see the thing come into being from the nose back. His ears pinned back like he's getting ready to be into a fight. His hair rigid and black and gray, standing up on his back. The Black Claw is at least 7 to 8 foot long, and would the top of his head would be he could damn near look a person in the eye standing beside you. He looks like a black dire wolf, and he is standing upon the surface of the ice 5 foot from you, looking at you in the eyes as you have summoned him. Dace, it is now going to be your turn, which is immediately following hers. You'll be playing the role of Black Claw. What would you like to do? You could say anything, any theatrics you want, and you know what his abilities are. You have the sheet there. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me.
Well, firstly, as Black Claw arrives and sees her in the water, he pretty much is going to gently grab her by the back of her outfit and drag her out of the water with his maw.
Okay. Does he say anything first, or does he just get straight to it? Which is fine. Either way, I'm just curious.
The spirits aid those who guide us.
Nice,
He
buddy.
says that as he drags her out of the water.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw for him. 1d20 plus your strength bonuses.
Well, I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine. 21.
Yeah, that works. As he reaches down and grabs you, like you've seen wolves grab their pups and move them around at different times, Alex, the wolf picks you up by the back of your clothes and pulls you up onto the side and lays you down out of the ice. I'm going to say that takes your major action to be able to do that, Dace. You still have your movement and bonus actions or anything of that nature that you have available to you. And if there's a spell that you have, I don't think you have any cantrips.
No, I don't have any cantrips. No.
Okay.
So I think in light of that, what he's going to do is that once he's going to move just in front of her, like he's going to stand in front of her. So if the thing comes out, it's going to go for him rather than Oma. So just kind of maneuvering himself to be in a position where it would have to come for him rather than her.
Okay. All right. So you do that to the best of Black Claw's ability. Roll a insight check.
No. Now, insight's wisdom, isn't it? Right? Or is it wisdom?
Look there on that
Intelligence.
character sheet you've got, Danny. I think insight is intelligence, isn't it?
Is it intelligence?
It's wisdom.
It's
It's
wisdom.
wisdom. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so that would be a 17.
Okay. You feel as if you could protect this thing from the edge, and Dark Claw's not used to being in winter climates and on ice like this, but it is then that you realize, after looking at the big wound on her side, there's a possibility this thing can come up right underneath the both of you. And whereas being from the realm that you're from, you can have physical contacts with things, and you're not quite as heavy as a typical dire wolf would be here. You're more of a fae. It still brings worry across you, and you've got to think how you could best serve this situation. Now, keep in mind, Alex,
Yes.
as a free action and things, when it is your turn, you can ask him to do different things for you, and Dace will interpret that to the best of his ability. But mind you, when you're summoning these creatures out, they kind of put their own spin on stuff. This isn't like you're summoning a mindless thing.
Right.
You bringing a person that was part of a tribe of your people back, and with that, their opinions and their insight and their personal way of doing things. So on your turn, as a free action, you can suggest things to it, but they are merely suggestions. Okay?
Okay.
With that being the end of its turn, it will now be the monster's turn again. The Beotodous. Let's see. Danny, you never climbed up out of the ice either, did you? You are still floating in it. Okay, I'm going to roll a dice here and see who's getting what. 1 through 10. Well, you're in the water, so you're going to be a little bit more likely to be grabbed. I'm going to roll 1d10 to see how much more likely. 7. Okay, 1 through 17, it's Danny. 18, 19, 20, it's going to go after prey on the ice. And it's a natural 2. Okay, so the creature rockets its way up towards you, Danny. The blood has actually spread now quite a bit. Let's enlarge that to a degree, if we will, please. If I even can. Yeah, I can. Just resize. Okay. Okay. Now it's encompassing the water all around you guys. It will be the thing's turn. Is coming after Danny, and it is coming up and busting up from the water underneath of you, sir. Let's go ahead and move it as soon as I find it, because I got several different things going on. It's not you. It is this one up here. Nicely done. Let's get you, move you down here. He is busting up through the water. He is visible again. Okay. With that, 2 attacks. Danny, I want your dexterity bonus. Whatever your bonus is to armor class primary, I want that halved versus these.
Okay.
So your armor class primary is basically what usually?
21.
Okay, so that's going to be, we're going to give you, so I'll give you 5 on that. So it's going to be 15 now, and it makes your armor class breach what?
That would be 21 for breach.
Okay. He rolled 15 on the first attack. Is that hit, or is it that hits but doesn't breach, correct?
Right. Also, he takes, because he's in the open air now, he takes a 4 points of radiant damage and 6 points of fire damage. And he has to make a dex save versus the fire. Well, that's a whopping 14 that he's got to save.
Well, let's do this. Is that your reaction?
No, that's the aura that he just popped up into again.
Okay. Now he came up underneath you. He's going to thrust you up out of the water, is what he's doing. So, okay, I'll go ahead and roll a save to see if he takes what, full damage from this. Is that what we're looking at?
No, that's to see if he gets the burning effect.
Okay, and that
So
is a
he takes half
Constitution.
damage and then gets burning condition if he doesn't.
Okay, I'm going to say he goes ahead and does, because he's not trying to dodge it in any way, shape, or form. He's just coming straight at you.
Okay.
Okay, so what would that be?
It was 10 points of damage, 6 fire, 4 radiant.
Got
and
it.
then the burning condition. Gotta figure that out because it's down below.
He does not get the burning condition of it, though. He takes the initial blast of it, but because of his slick hide and being covered in water, and remember how they were kind of greasy and shit from before when you slipped on him when you were kicking him, that he does not suffer the burning condition. Okay?
Wow, I gotta remember that burning condition when I use the other part.
Yeah. So just 1 second here, because I'm not doing sad music right now. This needs to get over it. There we go. Enough of that crap. All right. So Yeah, we're not dying today. We're not dying. So yeah,
We're not dying today.
not today. Let me move this
Or
ball.
as Blackclaw would say.
There we go. Okay. So with that, he comes up. I'm going to make it a charge attack. He's racing up out of the water, coming to you. He's going to not only hit you, but it's going to be a charge. It's going to have a little bit of extra something to it because of distance. He's going to try to propel you up out of the water with his great horn. He has a plan. Okay, the damage for the horn when he's using it in a charge attack is not nice. Okay. And he had 10 foot of movement, didn't he? Damn it. Oh, shit. 12, 14. Okay, 21 points of piercing damage.
That breaches my armor.
Okay, so then it does 2 times this to your armor. You still get your damage reduction to it because I had to pass it, but it does 10 points of armor damage to your armor as he comes up underneath of you and bashes you with that horn and throws you into the air out of the water. You are thrown up a distance of 6 feet into the air. Okay. With that, the creature lays in wait. As you come down, roll a dexterity saving throw, Danny.
Oh, God. Him and Bash, just like they should share. Dex, not so good. 12.
12. Yes. Okay, and as you come back down, he is laying there and wait for you and the horn at the ready. Okay? We're not going to say the horn. I'd say after he closes you like that, it'd be an open mouth waiting for you to come back down into. It is going to use its, but it did the charge action. So you're coming down, headed towards its mouth. It used its whole turn. It threw you up in the air. I'm going to go ahead and move it to your turn, Danny. And you are 6 foot in the air above the surface of the ice, falling down. You can't move yourself. And you're seeing this big open mouth with water gushing out of the sides as the teeth open up and the horn rears back. And you're coming down straight for its mouth. What are you doing?
I'm going to use the gale attack again, and hopefully this time use it to propel me back onto the ice.
Oh, nice. Good call. Yeah. All right. Do that, man. Do that thing.
I am not even so much concerned about whether I hit him with damage or not, but 13 plus charisma bonus will be his save for it. 13. That's 20 total.
9.
All right, then. He takes 3d8. Oh, let me see how much mana I spend first. 9, 12, because he's going to do it at that level. God. Well, that costs some. All right, so he takes 3d8 wind damage. 8, 9, 17 wind damage, wind and slashing. He will be pushed 15 feet away, plus.
You got to move him on top of him now. So he won't be.
11. No, that's 21 feet that I'll be pushed.
Yeah,
so I get pushed
he's in the
21
water,
feet.
a large creature. I'll back him down. I'll say, which direction you want to push yourself towards? This way, this way, this way, or this way? Which direction?
Let's call it west.
Okay, so let's move you instead of him. What do you think, buddy? You're going to be pushing yourself, 15 foot?
Yep.
10, 15. And when you do, I'm going to say that thrust on his side of it is enough to push him and submerge him back down under the water, which would be roughly 5 foot of him was projected out, getting ready to just get on you, raw dogging it, and you go down, okay?
And then he takes the 12 fire damage as well since I cast it at that level.
He is down now underneath water again. Okay, and how much?
12 extra for the fire damage.
Okay, and when you're doing this fire damage to him, you're seeing that it's hitting, but that hide that he has on seems to be somewhat resistant to that type of damage. It doesn't seem to permeate, especially since you tried to catch him ablaze the last time and it just did not take. Mental note, okay? All right, as you land, perform a dexterity check to land successfully on the ice, Danny.
With a whopping 7, I will gladly bust my ass.
As you do, you land for 7. Dace, I need you to roll me a DC for how thin the ice is where he lands. You need to know if he's taking a plunge.
20. Oh, left that on.
God says.
Left that on. God says you die.
Right.
All right.
What is it, buddy?
A whopping 15.
Okay. And you rolled
That's
a
pretty
7.
thick ice.
Okay.
I rolled.
Well, right, yeah. Well, no, Danny, it's bad. You know, the higher he rolls, the thinner it is.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, you rolled a 7, he rolled a 15. Yeah.
I used the green dice. They want you.
Right,
These dice actually
still
want you
rather
guys to die.
reasonable.
These
Danny
guys.
didn't know the kind of shit he was getting into here. So, Danny, you are some. Okay. I'm gonna have some fun. Old D4, you vicious bastard. Okay.
I rolled a 15. It's
Right.
time to die.
You are bust through the ice, and the only thing remaining on top, I rolled a 3, and I was rolling a 1 through 4 for each limb. 1 was right leg, 2 was left leg, 3 was right arm, 4 was left arm. I rolled a 3. So 3 of your limbs in your body have busted through the ice, and your left arm is the only thing keeping you on the surface. And you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
That is cold, man. At least it didn't drive him batty. God, Dace, that was rough last time. All right.
Nice.
So you used that strike. What do you have left, buddy?
That's his action, so I'm going to use my movement to get back up on the ice.
Okay,
Nice.
I'll say that you do. Please roll me a dexterity saving throw to see how well you're able to climb up through the ice, please.
15.
Okay, you're able to get up there. You look like the tubby kid getting out of the pool. I mean, you didn't get up gracefully, but you're up on there and you're breathing out, and you can see your breath in the air. I'm not stunning you because you're used to this kind of climate to a degree.
And so when he stands up, he kind of comes back into that Phoenix stance. And then as he does, he shifts his feet wider and he pulls them up like this, and using his bonus action, you'll see what little bit of dirt that is around him rises up, and he's taken on the behemoth form.
Okay. That'll work. Well,
That's it. That's all I got left.
No, it's fine. I'm just deciding now that you're considered a large-sized creature, you just come up out of the ice that you were standing on and just busted through, and you just went to all that effort to get up out of there, and you decide to become a large-sized equivalent.
Should I roll? See if the ice breaks?
I mean, I think we got to.
That's
I
a
think
good
we
point.
absolutely have to.
All right, let's mix it.
Fire's worse. Oh shit!
You're fine. I rolled a 4 on the D4, but I rolled a 1 on the dice.
Okay.
So it's 5.
Okay. So the one part of the ice, this works theatrically. When you went down, the reason your left arm was left among is because there was a thick piece in there that you're actually able to cling on to. And when you pulled yourself up, I'm going to say you begin standing in that area. But now that you've done that and you can hear cracking in the distance, you're turning into this behemoth. You're starting to wonder if you weren't thinking a little bit too instinctively here. With that, Oma.
Yes.
My God, it's your turn. Thank goodness. You are still in the... No, you're not. He pulled you out.
It wants me to regroup the 21 realms.
Are right there. And
I don't know what that
I'm going to do something really fun here in just a minute. I need to move Oma up here. Let's see here. Where you are. Okay. And now I need to add Black Claw to this. So here's how we do that. Open. Okay. Character icons all. Creatures and enemies. Yada da da da. I think I had a wolf in here, if I'm not mistaken. And if not, I will use something else in just a brief moment. Let's go to character icons all. Spells and effects, no. Go to creatures and enemies. Yeah, let's do this. I'll just use the head of this in a square, and we'll use that. That'll be cool. Okay, let's do this. Edit, copy, bam, edit, paste. Wolf's in there. Move him down and around. Quickly resize him. Okay, call it Black Claw. And that's all it has to do to add something new in, guys. That's it. It's pretty neat, right, Dace? Okay, I'm gonna put you right here, and you drug her back here. I'm gonna do a couple circles here to represent some holes in the ice that we've got. Okay, let's make those dark blue. So, having said that, we know that Danny just poked through here and created a hole that he was able to climb back up out of. Okay, so we've got that one. We know that there's a big one right here that Oma come up out of. Let's do that one. Okay, and then we know early on there was one over here where that came up through and was fighting you. Let's do that as well. Okay, so now we know where our holes are at through the ice. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and go back to Oma. All right, Oma, it is your turn. He just drug you out. You were waterlogged. You were hurting.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right here. The Beotodous that, or the Beotodous, whatever the hell we call it. I'm going to call him the Beos from now on. And he knocked it back down underneath the water. So you have to imagine it is somewhere down below this circle. Okay. And you are roughly 5 foot away from the edge of the ice there where you saw him just knock this sucker for a loop and push it back down to the water as he pushed himself away from the creature. The other one is still bleeding out pretty decently, and you can see its body has floated, it is laying over there dead on the ice. What are you doing with your turn?
Can I see where the other Beotodous is?
Where, which other one? The one that fell down this hole?
Yeah.
Roll me, from where you're at, roll me a perception check, please.
Okay. 25.
Yes, it starts to come into view. And you can see that it's only about 5 foot down below the surface, and its horn is pointing up through. Its horn is just 5 foot below where that hole was, where Danny pushed it back down through. Actually, it was attacking, yeah, because it was over here. It threw him from this one to this one where he broke through. So this is where it's at. About 5 foot down below the surface, you can see swashing water, and you can make out the shape and fins and that horn moving around trying to get itself refocused.
Alrighty. I would like to cast Sacred Flame at it.
Okay. And at what level would you like to cast it? What's the highest level spell you can cast right now, Oma? It might be
A
5.
level 4.
You can cast a level 4. You want to
Yep.
cast it at maximum level, or you want to just cast it at the one it came as?
I like to cast maximum level.
Okay. What's it do as a base? What's it say damage-wise that it does?
There. Sorry, I don't have it pulled up yet.
Okay. I'll look it up for you real quick.
Want this? Yeah, no.
Oh, no, I'll have it in the morning. Thank you, kiddo. Hey, did you make that tea? Okay. Sacred Flame. I love alphabetical order.
I need to get those
Okay.
highlighting tab
So-
things for my books.
So you're casting it. Okay, 1d8 damage. The target has no benefit. The spell's damage increases by 1d8 when you reach 5th level. So you're over 5th level.
Yep.
This will do 2d8 damage plus your charisma bonus, or no, plus your I think wisdom. So you're going to be doing 2d8 points of damage. And let me see. You have to it has to succeed on a dexterity saving throw. So I
Okay.
need you to roll what the DC is of that. So what you're going to do is you're going to roll 1d20, and then
Okay.
add the scroll that's on your character sheet that says spell DC. That's the number you're going to add to a 1d20. It's right underneath where your weapons are listed.
Gotcha. Found it.
Tell me what that number is and hope for a good high one.
Spell save DC is 12.
So whatever, 1d20 plus 12.
15.
15?
Yeah, these dice.
My
Man, I gotta
God,
find new
Alex,
ones.
you're having a hell of a time. Okay, so let's see if it was able to evade the spell. It was not. I rolled a 4 plus bonuses was not enough. It'll take the full 2d8 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
Okay. That's 1, 6, 7 plus wisdom modifier is 5.
12?
That's a 12. Yeah.
All right. Is that your major action to cast that, or is it a bonus?
Flame is,
I think that's your full turn action, isn't it?
yeah, 1 action.
Okay, if you have any bonus action spells that you can cast, or any other things you want to do with your movement, or anything of that nature, now's the time.
Okay. How damaged is Danny's character?
Danny, how rough are you looking, buddy? Hit points.
He's looked pretty good on hit points, but his armor is pretty shredded.
Okay, you can heal yourself if you wanted to, Alex. You have that ability.
Fantastic.
As long as you have a bonus action spell to do it with, you can do it.
I'd like to cast Healing Word. The bonus action.
Okay. And in our game, we allow people to cast a bonus action spell and a regular spell as a major action. I allow that in this game because it seems to be more balanced, because people can take multiple attacks per round with all these different effects and things of that nature. It seems to balance out, and cantrips usually have a certain limit to what they can do. Bonus action spells seem to be limited in their way, so I let people do a main action and a bonus action spell in the same turn. House rules. Go ahead, Alex, do your healing word and tell us what the numbers are like for that. How does it work? What range does it hit? Talk to me about it.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so
Found it.
you used how many magic points? You cast that.
That would be 3 magic points.
Okay, you get a 1d4 plus your wisdom modifier, which is a 5, right?
Yes.
So it'd be 1d4 plus 5 hit points. A creature of your choice, which can be you. When you cast a spell using a slot higher than second level, you increase it 1d4 for each slot. So, do you want to cast this at a 4th level, or you want to cast it at a 1st level?
I'd like to cast it at a 1st level.
First, okay. So that'll be 5 plus 1d4 hit points you'll be getting back as you cast it. And it will cost you 3 magic points.
Gotcha. Just rolled a 2, so plus 5, that'd be 7.
There you go. Things are looking up a little bit for you. That almost shrugged off the horn attack that you got on your side earlier. And now you have movement that you have left, and you also have a reaction if you need to use it later.
Okay. I don't think I actually have any reaction spells.
Okay. Well, notes for the future. Get you one. Right?
So I would like to move towards a thick part of the ice.
Okay, so you see Danny standing on a
Wonder why.
part over there. Do you want to stand beside him, behind him, in front of him? Where around Danny would you like to go to?
Probably behind Danny,
Okay. Oma
further away from that hole.
moves across, goes over here behind Danny on firm ground as the cleric does. I will not have you roll any save for that. We already know it. That's a pretty thick spot he's on right there. Is that the end of your turn, Oma?
Yep.
Dace, the demon dog. O'Brien, it is your turn. It's the quickest picture I could come up with, my friend.
It's all good. That's all good. I reckon he's probably gonna move to be. He's gonna move to be closer to Oma. However, he's going to, as his main action, he's gonna ready it.
Okay, you're
He's
gonna.
gonna. He's gonna see like. He's kind of gonna get low on all fours. So if it bursts out of the ice to attack, either Oma, or they now really giant guy. If the creature pops out to attack either one of them, it's going to leap on it and bite it and bite it.
Okay, so you're still okay. So
now I'm pretty sure that doesn't actually cost any of his points because that's just the attack action.
exactly right. He can stay out and attack all he wants. So once again, please, where is it you want to position yourself?
I want to position myself like just behind Oma. Yeah, just behind Oma.
About right in.
Yeah, perfect, right there. Yeah.
Okay. And let's go ahead and move.
And
behind her. Okay.
As he looks at the two.
Okay, you saying something?
Yep. This beast stalks from the darkness. It's foolish for thinking it can beat me.
Nicely done, buddy. I like it. I like it. That's cool. Okay, so with that, you are readying an action for if this thing resurfaces or comes near her or somebody within your range, you're going to do your thing. I will tell you when that trigger happens. Now let's talk about the passive abilities that you have over top of her when you're close to her in that way. Would you please look at that and see if there are any that you give to both of them since you are within proximity of them?
All right, so let's have a look. Passive. React. Okay, so I actually didn't see this, but I actually have a reaction that's literally what I'm about to do. I don't think from what I can see, well, when either of these two are attacked, I can actually, as a reaction, I can basically cast Misty Step that costs 5 SP if I choose to basically take them myself or my summoner and teleport them away basically
Pretty cool
5
move.
feet. But I have to be within 5 feet of them, and which I am. So yeah, so if I'm attacked or she's attacked, I can Misty Step us both away.
Nice, buddy.
Yeah, so that's a reaction too. So I could do my hold action and then
No, yeah, you could. So you could attack it and then jump them out of the way. You can
yep, pretty much.
Jackie Chan the shit out of this thing. Okay, so having said that, is that the end of your turn, Dace?
Yes, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, now it is the creature's turn. I'm gonna roll intelligence.
Dare it to come at me.
Right.
Dare you.
Okay. It failed the intelligence check. So this is what's going on. The creature, all of a sudden, you see it disappear dark. It's diving down. And there's a moment of silence across the three of you. There's a moment where you can hear your breath. You can hear the shiver of your body, Danny, as you're looking around, trying to decide what's going on. You know you're standing on a thick piece of ice. The wolf pants, its breath blowing out past you, its shadows, and it always looks like it's displaced to a degree as it stands beside you, just scanning the surface of the ice. And all of a sudden, just like a flash, it's almost like you were in a car accident hit by a car that you didn't even see coming. There's an eruption of force underneath of your guys' feet. The problem being is that the ice was thicker there than the creature had anticipated. It failed a check. We need to do opposing strength rolls to see if it's able to bust through it. I'm rolling a disadvantage because of the thick ice. Alex.
Yes.
You roll low all the time, so this is going to work to my favor.
Once you're rolling that 20.
Yeah, the higher you roll, okay, no, it's good. The higher you roll,
Yeah.
the stronger the ice is. So we already established, what was it earlier?
It was a 19 earlier.
Yeah, it was. So I just have to beat that. You're good. You're good. I got you.
I believe it was a 19.
It was. I remember now.
Yeah.
I did not succeed. So as this creature comes up and it shocks you how quickly this sucker erupts through the bottom, you can almost feel the vibration through your foot as it has buried its horn in this ice down below you, these large cracks, and you can hear a roar as if it's muffled by water underneath the very feet where you guys are standing on this solid chunk here. That will end the creature's turn. Danny, it is your turn. What are you doing?
All right. Well, I can't get it right.
A hell of a fight on our hands.
So Dayhon is going to grind his feet into the earth. Doing pretty well this time, only taking 2 mana to do it.
Okay.
And he is going to bring up Gaia's mantle. He brings his arms up in a defensive stance up high, almost like a behemoth's horns. And my movement's restricted, but I'm going to go ahead and move 15 feet to get to a thinner piece of ice, hopefully to draw it to me. Easing out on the ice to where it gets thin enough he can bust through, but not so thin that I'm going to fall.
We're still at the showers, 9:30.
Roll what? Perception?
Whoever gets done first gets the shower first.
I look at the show.
18.
Okay. Okay, the ice is thin. Over here you have broken up and hit different things and whatnot. But you see, back here there seems to be a little bit more snow. It's a little bit cloudier back here behind you. You believe if you went straight backwards, this might be the spot you're looking for. But you're not positive, but that's the best you can discern. What are you doing?
All right, I'll head back there.
Roll me dexterity saving throw.
Ten.
As you're walking back through there, Danny. Dace, roll me a 1d4.
1d4. 2.
Both your feet go through the ice, but your arms and your upper body do not. Okay? You have your major action and all your other things. You've moved that far, and you're right here now.
How far do I sink?
I'll say to your waist, mid-abs, because your arms are out.
Can you go back a bit?
All right. He will. I guess his reaction, he'll pull himself out using half his movement for the next round, I guess. Not sure how I would do that.
Well, you'd have to use a regular action to pull yourself out. You couldn't use a reaction to pull yourself out of water. It would take your major action to pull yourself out.
His major action is restricted to defensive moves as long as he stays in his stance.
Document.
So
You might have to break the stance.
That's a document you can put up, right, isn't it? Oh, usually see it.
you know what? I'm just gonna wait. He'll just float there, just like his waiting on it.
All right. That'll work. Hey, mind you, the stance is going to have some hard time being effective because you don't have your full thing of movement about you, buddy. You're half in the water.
Yep.
Okay. That's the end of your turn. Oma, you are up. You know this creature is about 3 to 4 foot below you with a horn sticking into the ice underneath of you. As it is shaking back and forth violently, you can see the dark shadows underneath of the thick piece of ice that you are laying on top of, or standing on top of. You have dark black claw to your side. What are you doing with your turn?
I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way. And attempt to cast Sacred Flame again.
Okay.
At the spot where the creature is.
Okay. So, roll an insight check. That's
Okay.
wisdom.
That's 6. Wait.
Okay.
Insight plus 8. So 14.
Okay. You don't have a clear shot at this creature. It's beneath at least 3 foot of ice, which is why it can't get to you. So if you were to stand back, even if you went towards the thicker stuff back here where Danny is out, you might be able to help pull him out of there. But you couldn't shoot Sacred Flame at something that's underneath the ice by at least 2 or 3 foot. It wouldn't find it.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me double check something real quick.
And if you have a question, just go ahead and ask me. You're fine to ask whatever you'd like.
Can I use a bonus action to cast Shield of Faith?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd like to cast Shield of Faith on Danny's character. That'll work until he gets a chance to attack, right?
I believe just tell me the brief description of Shield of Faith. Let me know.
Oh, yep. A shimmering field appears and surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting it a +2 bonus to AC for the duration. And the duration is concentration up to 10 minutes.
Awesome. So With that, and is that at the base level? Can you give more if you cast it higher? I'm going to double check it.
It's spell level 1.
Nope, it's just a +2. Okay. So Danny, as she has went from the person that was the victim, now she is performing what a cleric is supposed to be performing. She's gathered herself together. She turns over towards you, sees you in a perilous situation, and she casts Shield of Faith on you. As you can hear her song slightly enter your ears as you've heard her hum through the walls many, many different times. You look over to her and you see her lips move, and beyond the snow falling in the difference and all the sound and the heartbeat loud in your ears now from the cold starting to have an effect on you. You see this aura slightly come into being for just a brief moment. It seems to be this kind of swirling cloud of protection, and then it seems to fade back away, as if you feel enhanced and empowered somehow, as if some kind of shield of faith has been cast upon you. Okay, that is your bonus action. Alex, what else would you like to do? If anything, it's all good. You could command Dark Claw with a free action, or Black Claw. You can do all kinds of different things here, young lady. You have the keys to the Lamborghini. Like we like to tell Ron all the time, it's no pressure. No pressure. We're just all waiting on you. It's no big deal.
Okay, so I haven't used my main action yet, correct?
You have not, ma'am.
Okay.
You thought about it, then you decided it wasn't going to work.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, she found something good, guys.
Okay. Since it's an animal, I would like to create food near a hole, near the hole that is in the ice,
Okay.
where close to me, to draw the creature towards that hole.
Okay. How far away can you cast this?
30 feet.
Okay. Either one of these holes will work. You know the creature is just below you, so this would be your best. So she's going ice fishing, everybody. This is fantastic. Okay. So with create food, how much food can you make here? I mean, what's this going to be like? What are you trying to do here?
I create 45 pounds of food.
I'm pretty sure it's like, but if for a better measurement, it's like 3 days standard rations. I think that's the amount it actually makes.
Yeah.
Enough to sustain up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds for 24 hours.
Wow. Okay.
It's actually a really good spell.
Yeah. So, okay. Having said that, Oma, what kind of food do you want to create here?
I think I want to create a whole boatload of fish.
Okay, now, and I don't, because I won't get you on a technicality here because we're just having fun and whatnot, but now can you create life form like food, or does this have to be like non-animate dead food? You know what I mean?
It says food is bland but nourishing, so like really tasteless fish.
Okay. I will say, roll me a performance check. Okay. I'm going to help you out a little bit.
Alrighty. 21.
Okay. You decide to create some kind of food, because I'm not going to let you do fish because that's a living thing, even though it's dead.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm going to let you're going to create something that is pungent
Ah.
and will make an odor and will make a mess in the water that would possibly draw the creature to you. So, for instance, it might be like a meat pie of some kind. It might be something of that nature, like 45 pounds of almost something that was going to work essentially as shark chum in the water, and you create this food. And as you do, over in this hole, and it goes down and hits with a splash, as drawing the attention of the Beotodous, or whatever, Beos, whatever we decide to call them. As you drop that food down, plunk, you do not know what's happening yet. Because it is not the creature's turn yet. Are you going to stay put?
Yes.
Okay. Black Claw, it's your turn, buddy. She's doing out all the stops. She's casting shields. She's making pies. She's
I'm like,
it's going crazy.
what the hell am I gonna do?
I mean, I don't know, bud. What do you want to do?
I think for tactical reasons, I'm gonna stay within 5 feet of Oma, just so I have that option to cast that spell, just in case things get really bad.
Okay. Okay.
But
Now remember, it might come up for the bait because this
I'm
is going to hit the
thinking-
surface and kind of things.
so
So-
it's this smaller hole the bait's been formed around.
Uh huh.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move in front of Oma.
Okay.
And what I'll do again is I'll do the exact same thing. I'm gonna hold action. But this time, if this thing comes up for the fish, when it does, gonna jump and nab at it with his maw.
Fantastic.
Just so I'm also within 5 feet of her to ensure that I can do that spell just in case it decides not to, and I've got a backup plan.
It works. It's cool. It works just fine. Okay, so you move over there with little to no problem. As you are standing there waiting to see if this creature takes the bait. Now it's going to be the creature's turn. Okay? Let's see what happens here. Okay. What to do? Let's roll a check here.
Maybe meat pies in the
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. It is not only coming over and going for the bait, but it is getting its head up above it and taking a big bite of all of it as it erupts up out of the water over here and becomes painfully obvious that this thing is hungry and is not thinking very clearly at the moment.
Yes, it worked.
Okay, on that moment, you would have advantage on your surprise attack on this creature if you want to, Black Claw, or whatever else it is you're planning on doing here. What are you thinking?
Now, just a quick question: how hurt does it look again?
It looks. It seems to be tore up to a decent degree, but I wouldn't call it on death's door or anything like that. Not yet.
Well, I've got advantage on this, don't I?
Yes.
Then I think this would be the prime time. Now, since I can only use it once, and I've got advantage, I think I'm going to do his special move, and I believe it's Nightmare Attack.
Nightmare Attack. Okay, cool. Describe to us what's happening, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, so as the creature comes out of the water, like a black aura just seems to form around him as he howls this deep, and it's deep in this almost unsettling devilish howl coming from him as as he attacks with because it says psychic damage, a piercing damage and psychic damage. So as like this spiritual energy just waves towards this creature.
Okay. What are you
So-
rolling for this? And tell me some details about the map.
Okay, so I need to roll a nightmare attack. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw. DC 1d20 plus.
Okay, so you tell me what my DC is.
Your DC is 21.
Damn you! Failed.
All right. So in that case, you take. So I need to get. All right. 2d8. Where's my second? 2d8. I'll tell you all the damage once I've added it all up.
Okay. Oh, he's got the Danny calculator.
Oh my
He's starting
god.
to add up some shit's what he's doing.
Okay, so that's plus 5. So doing the math here, that is so 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 5 is
21.
21. So that's 21. 21. That's the first lot. Oh my god!
He sounds like someone just flashed him.
Yeah.
Oh dear God!
That's another two. That's another set of 2d8.
All right.
37 damage.
Oh my God!
Now is that in meters or feet?
Yeah, yeah. That's in points of damage. Okay, so is there any side effect like fear or anything tied to this?
Yeah, let me just do a quick another glance over it, make sure. Reduce original spell damage. Okay, so no, that's fine already. Okay.
Hey,
So since you failed the save,
He did.
suffer the effects of the Phantom Killer spell. Reduces the original.
Oh, okay. Speaking to Mike, so it gets the phantasmal.
Yeah. So it suffers the effects of the Phantom Killer spell.
What would you like to make this thing's worst fear? Oh, dude, this plays out perfect. Hold on, Dace.
Hell.
No, I got this. No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
You just played. You're gonna. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. Okay, so you've knocked this thing down to death's door.
Oh my god.
When you did that attack, it had been taking little hits from Danny all night. I got to do something. This is amazing how well this turns out. Hold on. God, I like it when shit comes together this way. You're going to get a kick out of this, I hope, guys. All right. So as Black Claw, using Oma as a vessel, unleashes his most potent ability that he can only do once while he is in this realm from the spirit world. He does the nightmare attack. It does psychic and different amounts of damage when it rolls well, and if the creature fails a wisdom throw, it has the effects of the phantasmal killer. This I can't get over this. So when you do that, Danny, you hear a familiar sound. Because you understand where we're at's not exactly a real place, okay? You hear this loud, screeching call from underneath of the water. And as you do, everything gets eerily silent. Okay? And then in a flash, something comes streaking from underneath of the ice and clamps on to the lower half of this creature before it has a chance to submerge and run. The creature has failed its save and is completely committed to the idea that this is real. And as it takes the body and you see the head kick to the side, the horn kicks out and almost doubles in a V from the impact of whatever this is coming rushing by. Danny, I want you to roll a history check for me, please.
Natural 18.
Buckle in, guys.
Oh my god.
Years ago, Danny.
Mickey Mouse.
We'll have a momentary flashback for theatrical things, and we'll get back to this.
Goofy.
You always had different trials that you were going through, and you were always learning about the different creatures of the lakes and stuff from the elders and things of that nature. You've recalled the behemoth that you fought a long time ago. You've also recalled in the past the phoenix flame that you saw that took your sister to the other side. Can you mute your microphone, please, Nanny? Thank you. This triggers a memory that you hadn't thought about in some time. When you were young, you had an uncle, and his name was Kanyo, Kan-yo. And Kanyo, if he were to be played by an actor, he'd be played by the guy that played Boba Fett in the Star Wars prequels. Another Samoan type actor, he looks like that person with the dark skin and the black hair. Okay? Yeah. And he always dressed up as a warrior fisherman. That's who he was to you. He was one of the people that always taught you about the Beotodous. He was the one that started getting your interest in learning about how to look at the shadows, about to notice the big ones from the small ones, how to find the thick pieces in the ice, which you've just very ironically done. And he is one to prepare you for this ritual that he's going to take you on as a young man. We're talking you're probably about 11 and a half, 11 years old at this point, Danny. You remember looking at him, and he crouches down to you, and you are dressed up in what seems to be some kind of tribal version of what would look like some kind of sea creature. You have different leaves and different pieces hanging off that would look like fins. And you would wear this shroud over top of you. It looks like scales that were crafted from clam shells that your people used to harvest and stuff, and they hang off you and make this neat clattering sound as the cold winds blow across you as a little man. And he's looking at you, and he looks at that voice, and he looks at you and goes, "Oh, look at that. I'd almost mistake you for one if I didn't know you myself." He goes, "Are you ready? Can you be brave for me and your mother?" As you look back up at him, you don't even say a word. You're so determined to look tough for him as a little man. You just kind of nod your head yes. He takes you with his arm around your side. And he takes you out to a very familiar place, these large ice fields over lakes where they used to go do some of the most dangerous fishing. And he's telling you a story of a legendary creature that inhabits these waters, that they give sacrifices to every so many years and offer food and things like that so they can have safe hunting on these lakes. There is said to be a great serpent that lives in this area. Okay? And you've never seen it, but you've heard stories about it. You've seen people dress up as it and depict it when you were a young man, as the drums beat in the background and the flames licked out across, making the shadows of everyone seem like crazy markings. It almost was its own nightmarish kind of an ordeal for you. And people would dress up as this creature, almost like when you've seen in Asian people dress up as the Asian dragons, and they all kind of puppet it and moving around like this, and many people underneath of the canopy of the creature, making it look like it's real. They did something very similar like that, dedicated to this sea creature that they worship. As you go out there, he has you take the food out and walk very easily on the ice. He's like, "There you go. Just a little further. There you go. Drop it there, Dayhon. Drop it there." And as you leave the food out on the ice and you go back to him, He takes his spear and he cuts a big hole in the ice, and he takes a long breath, and he pulls out a horn that he has hanging over his back on a satchel and holds it down and begins to blow it. It lets out this long kind of cry as the horn blows. It doesn't sound like a horn. It sounds more like the exact same noise Dayhon just heard a brief second ago. That brings you back to that moment. That reminds you what that sound is when you hear this creature call out with the same voice. You remember the head of this serpent coming up through the ice out there and taking the offering that your parents and you have been putting together over the last couple of days. It has versions of what would be pike in this world, great long fish, but these are at a certain age of a certain color that this creature seems to like the most. There are frost berries put in with this grouping, tied to the creature. They seem to like to eat the frost berries that you season this with. And as the creature comes up, it bites onto it and takes it in one mighty bite as its head comes up out of the icy waters. The thing's head sticks up almost 15 foot tall into the air. This is a creature, a monster that you've only heard about in myths and saw other people dress up as. Until this moment, you pretty much thought your uncle was just taking you snipe hunting. You weren't even sure that this was something real. And it is. As it comes down and it makes eye contact with him and it makes eye contact with you, it looks to two. You start to shake and tremble as your uncle puts his hands on your shoulders and says, "He's looking at you now. Walk up to him, let him smell you. If he smells you, he'll always remember you." They hate these creatures, these beos. It'll chase them off and hunt them if it knows you're around. Be brave. Go up to him, boy. Let the creature smell you. As you do, you walk up slowly, Daniel, and the creature comes within 10 foot of you, large enough where you can see the nostrils of this sea serpent. Its head, almost insect and aquatic looking in nature, long poignant fins come back from this large twisted blue-green sea serpent as it comes down and looks at you in this motion and smells water dripping off of its face. And as it does, it opens up its mouth and shows its teeth and has these large, like fins on the back of it, almost like a cobra's neck would. And it screeches out into the air and turns around and dives back into the water. As you stumble back and fall into the snow and you're looking, your uncle's there to help pick you up. And he goes, "Don't be afraid. That's just the creature letting everything around here know that it's on watch. You were brave today. Not everyone would have walked up there and seen that creature as you did." And you remember that memory. You tried to tell your friends in the tribe about it the next day. No one believed you. The only other person that believes that you actually saw this thing was your uncle. And now you're seeing that same creature here for the first time. As it goes across and bites into this creature and takes it deep down below the depths, you can hear its wail and that roar that it let go just plummet and go away as it goes deep down to the water. It's just stifled out. And with that, something else happens. As you see the water start to recede, almost like a tide coming in from the holes that are punctured around here, the water seems to drop as if something is starting to move and shift underneath the water itself. As something comes into view. Up through the ice, up above you, is that very creature that you saw all those years ago. Staring down and looking at all of you. Its head whipping back and forth. Water splashing up from around its body, from the hole it's made in here. And it looks across at you with the same eyes. Its mouth opens up. These pinchers seem to fold back, and it lets out the same screech, looking at you again. Danny, what is it your character's doing with this new stuff?
He pulls himself up on the ice, and he starts to approach it. He drops all pretense of combat and starts walking with his hand out to touch it on the nose as he did before.
Roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh, that's not bad at all. 17 plus 7, 24.
You find a braveness from the recesses of your mind. You're going to walk further than you did when you were young this time. You know your uncle's with you, although you haven't seen him in a long time. He's there with you in spirit as your character starts to walk up to the creature. As you reach your hand out, the creature turns to you, which I believe I can do. Hold on. There you go. Ha! I turned him. Yay. Okay. It's a little flipperoo. No big deal. And as it does, you hear a voice inside of your head. It sounds somewhat aquatic, and there are high-pitched notes to some of the words that it says. It says to you, I am glad to see that you still find the bravery to hunt these icy waters. Where have you been?
Growing.
Oma, you're seeing this as it becomes part of your reality. Black Claw, you can choose to stay and witness this with her. You can choose to dissipate. What is it that, I'll go with Oma first. Oma, what would you like to do in this situation as you are seeing this unfold? First, I want you to roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Wisdom.
10.
10. Okay, that's average. Now that the initial threat is gone and you're looking at this large creature go up to Danny, you are starting to realize that you are in the soul stone. You're starting to have that comfort again as you briefly scan around looking for your brother in around the stands, to just reassure and remind yourself, although you're not quite convinced and your heart still feels like you're in the dream. It's like when you wake up from a dream and you still feel that pain of something that happened, even though it may not have been completely real. You're in that moment, okay? Dace, what is Black Claw doing?
He tends to Oma and looks at her for a brief second.
My presence is no longer needed. Summon me when you need aid again.
Nice.
As he fades, as darkness kind of envelops him and he just fades away.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Black Claw. It was fantastic. And he fades out of sight.
I like voicing him. That's fun.
That is fun. It is fun. And anytime we're playing and she does that, you can jump in and do it.
Oh, I'm absolutely gonna. I totally want to voice him again. I love voicing him.
You know, he won't be trying to get you to lean towards that at all. He'll be like, hey, you should summon your wolf, maybe.
Not at all.
No, this would be great.
I mean, I'll voice the other ones too, but that one I've enjoyed so far.
So, Oma, I want to just tell you a couple things here, then I want you to do what you're going to do now. Black Claw has decided he is no longer needed, Hal. Here, either the dangerous threat is gone, He has expended his most powerful move, which he can only do because you are strong enough to be the vessel in which he can do that. Keep that in mind, Alex, that not someone else didn't defeat that creature. You did. Because you are the one that gives that fruition. You're the one that gives it power on this side. You're the one that does the summoning. You're the one that performs the move. These things live, as you will live one day, to be able to be a part of someone else's victories. Okay? You did that. All right? So with that, he goes away. What is Oma doing right now? Are you saying anything? Are you going to Danny? Are you remaining in your place? What is Oma doing?
I'd like to go to Danny and say it's time to leave.
Okay. So with that, Danny, Oma comes over to you, possibly worried that you're really bringing something from your past back here and you're maybe getting too far deep down where she's afraid she may lose you here. Maybe that's where her mind's at. You're not quite sure. But she comes over to you and is saying, like she said, it's time to go. With that, I need you to roll a persuasion check, Alex.
Alrighty.
No.
27.
Yeah, you got me. I got a 15.
Okay.
What the hell?
Danny, as she says that to you, you start to have the realization that this is a memory of yours. And
He
then,
reaches out, knowing it's a memory, and he puts his hand on it, and he says, when I'm strong enough, when I've grown enough, I'm coming.
okay, as you do that, for just a brief moment, Danny, as you touch the muzzle of this creature and look down at those sharp teeth that are together, but you have no fear. You've fought a behemoth now. You have saved people now. You've let your sister rest now. You're a different person than the little boy that this creature, this memory of this creature saw. And you've embraced that. And you feel the cold exoskeleton head of this thing for just a brief second. And it says to you, and I will be waiting for you. Come find me, warrior. And as it says that, your hand passes through it as the creature fades and disappears. The icy waters of the lake from around you start to vanish and fade back to the Colosseum floor that you came out initially. You look down at your feet, realizing that you're safe. What are you two doing? What are you saying to one another?
Did you find what you were looking for?
Boom! So Danny says, did you find what you're looking for? And Oma, what were you saying at the same time?
We did it.
She's doing the Dora dance.
Right? We did. Oh God, that's terrible. So at that moment, in the distance, when you're looking at Oma and you see the smile on her face, after everything that just happened to her, after she nearly drowned, after she was gored in the side, she came back up. She summoned out a brave part of her that took this second one down that no one could seem to reach. She put a shield of faith on you to protect you from whatever damage you were going to take while you were in this place. Okay? And as you're looking at her, you see an image in the background in the stands back far behind her. And your vision takes in Tomar. And he is standing in the background, looking over her shoulder from a long distance, and looks and meets your gaze and is nodding his head with approval. Okay.
He would look to his side to see if Dayhon's little sister is with him.
Roll a perception check.
14.
Nope. You don't see her. But Oma,
Mhm.
when you're looking past Danny in the exact same manner, on the other far side of the arena, over his shoulder,
Mhm.
back in this area somewhere, you see a small girl dressed in blue dyed furs with white color and black messed hair done up in 4 different braids that hang about her that seem to have some kind of teeth or bones hanging in them. She has large mittens on her hands, and they are crossing her chest like this. And she is looking at you from a distance. You see on her back seems to be some kind of large wood-made fishing pole that is pulled tight in a bow as the line is being stretched behind it with all these intricate kind of lures and things hanging down from below it. And when you look into those eyes, you see the same eyes that Dayhon has. And she looks at you and smiles, really big with large rosy cheeks, and gives you a nod. And you hear a voice in your head.
Friday night or tomorrow.
It says, I know you'll watch him.
Where's cat food? Right here.
I know you'll watch him. Thank you. Then the two of you meet eyes again as if you were both looking at people off in the distance. As you both snap to and realize that you're 5 foot from each other, standing toe to toe. What do you say? I'll start with Oma. As you look at him at a loss for words, the moment you notice that the image of the girl now is gone out of your peripheral vision. Now that your focus has went back onto him. Maybe that made you stutter step with your words just a little bit.
Mhm.
Danny, Oma seems to be just a touch speechless at the moment. What are you saying now that you've seen her brother nodding at you with approval from behind her?
Says, Tomar stayed in the stands. He's telling you you've made it.
Okay. Alex, any response to that?
Your sister seems to nod approval as well.
He smiles and he says, it's just her shadow here, unlike Tomar.
You see,
That's
Danny,
just-
a little bit harsher on himself than what you would have expected here, Alex, and that would sadden you to a degree. You know that there's a lot of pain he has, and you would hope that maybe he would embrace this the same way you have.
Right.
There seems to be something a little bit more calloused about Danny in this situation. What do you-
He looks around and he says, she's a shadow here, and I've got to let her go. That's why you see her and I don't. That part's done.
Okay.
And he looks around and he says, and the drunken first mate has died tonight.
Okay. With that, Oma, you might believe that it's time to leave this place, and I'll explain to you how to do that when you're ready. You would simply grab your totem, and you would remind Danny to grab his. You two would hold hands, and you focus on leaving this place, and then you could simply do it with the owl right there. There it is.
Yes.
That's it. That's our buddy. We're going to name that thing. You need to figure out a name for that thing, Alex. I'm serious. That so needs to happen. Okay?
All I'm saying is that sequence is a real hoot.
Oh, he's good. He's good, people. At least it's not batty. That's all I'm saying. So, having said that, are you telling Danny it's time, or do you have something else to do before you leave this place?
I'd say it's time.
Okay. So you would take your owl, which I want you to name before next episode.
Okay.
Danny, you would take your totem, which was what again?
It was I'm going to go ahead and name his sister Dayra, which is, close to Dayhon. It was Dayra's necklace that he wears as a bracelet because he's so much larger.
That's good. I like that, buddy. Dayra. Nice. With that, you guys look upwards, and you see the gray haze seem to start to part and move around and roll. And the same sequence of events happens as it did when you were brought into this place. All of a sudden, your focus will go solely onto the roof of this area, to the sky cap of it. You will see the outside shimmering edge of a force field of a degree. And then the next thing you'll know, you'll feel as if your feet have been lifted up. You can't look away. You can only look upwards now. You feel the wind rushing past you as if you're falling at 100 miles an hour. And as you go up through these clouds, just before you would make impact with the outside or edge of whatever this force field is, you almost get this nervousness like you're falling in a dream. And then the next thing you know, all of a sudden, you are back into your body as if you've been slammed into a wall. You actually jerk to a degree. Your body feeling numb, that weird feeling in your stomach like you've just fallen in a dream, but you can't quite get over the nausea of it. It's very real to you. And as the two of you come to, and the jerk made your hands separate because you guys were sitting beside each other, kind of on your knees and stuff like that. Danny, something very, very funny happens to you. At that moment, you see Medelia with tears running down her face and a huge smile on her face, comes running in and gives you the hardest running hug you've probably ever had in your life. She's been watching all this go on through this thing the whole time. What do you do?
Dayhon would wrap her up and kind of look around, like, is this what I'm supposed to do?
As you say that, or just think that, and then look on your face, you hear a small sarcastic clap start from the doorway of the place as Aeolus is leaning in the doorway with his legs crossed, looking over, and he's looking at Oma. And he's saying, that is interesting. And we'll stop tonight's episode there.
Dang, because that was who he was going to see, was Aeolus.
Okay. So, with that, I know that one fight was stuck for a long time, but dude, I enjoy it. It was very difficult when you guys falling through the ice with all the different elements of it taking you guys down and dragging you down. I mean, that was some serious shit that you guys had to think about. So, of course, what does Danny do? He just becomes like a 2-ton creature, because when you're fighting on ice and having a problem, that's what you do. So, but hey, it worked out. Good recovery. Man, Alex, it was getting to be crunch time for you, young lady. I was worried, and if I've learned anything from over the years of playing, there is just as good of things that come out of a death of a character as come out of someone surviving a near-death experience. And that's about as close as you want to get. It was getting dire, and I want you to be able to keep playing her, and I want you to continue this. That's a Brian thing, but I'm not doing the game any justice if I'm pulling punches and doing shit, because then there's no real satisfaction out of surviving in another game. You know what I mean? So, well, I'm glad you made it outside of the game, but that was intense. It was good. And then, dude, the way that played out with you using the one ability, it does like this phantasmal killer-like thing, and thinking of what these creatures fear, and that tying directly into the story of Danny, and me having the graphic ready in case something like that happened, was just phenomenal. I mean, you and I couldn't have talked about that and made that happen.
No, and just to clarify, we had not planned that out whatsoever. That was completely. I went for that because I have advantage. This is probably the best chance to use this ability, and well, I have to say it worked surprisingly well.
And you hit an awesome home run with the damage that it did. That's an awesome attack that he has, and
My card fears no opponents.
of course not. So with that, I want to go ahead and end this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed helping create it. And we will try to get together on Sunday and do episode 9. And what's cool now is, since we've got to this point, we can focus on what goes on in the Royal Crypts and give that its due, because that's going to be a situation. There's a hell of a mess there. Alex, we will try to figure out some way that you can interact or be a part of that as well. Or if you just want to join in to just throw sarcastic comments at Danny the whole time, that's perfectly fine too. Whatever works.
Maybe play some of the monsters.
Oh yeah, and I'll definitely have you do some dice rolls, because I need them to blame somebody other than me.
Speaking of that, my dice wanted you to dead tonight. Like, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All I'm saying is she should use the same dice then that she's using tonight.
Yeah.
That'll work out great.
Oh, that's all right. Well, before we go on a fist, people are like, okay, wrap it up, guys. Thanks for watching. Once again, this is the Tales of Ulran, and we will see you guys on Sunday. Thank you.